April 30th, real late at night here. I guess it's 11:23 my time in Central Time on April 30th. This is about ready to go into May on a Monday night real late after I just flew back in from New York into my hometown in Texas. So here we are, and this one's about Iran nukes, which I believe, if you really look back at about how serious this is and the way they got those nukes and with linking in with the uranium-1 and everything, this is the MOAB, right? This is the mother of all bombs, or mother of all booms, as I think Q's talking about. Now, I think that he was talking about that last week, so it probably has something to do with the precursor being the text and some of these things happening with assassination. That's probably the MOAB he was talking about then. But boy, this is a huge boom if it's not a MOAB. If you see what Netanyahu did, and you're going to help me with pronunciation there. I'm terrible with pronunciation, guys, but hope all is well. Jesse, it's nice to see you. Milsaka, good to see you so late here. Jameson Harris, good to see you. Good evening as well. I tell you what, this is just crazy. So I was not, as you know, I was not going to be recording tonight because of my travel on Sunday night as well as tonight. But everything I saw on the plane ride home, I just had to prepare for another one of these. It's like, so I spent my 3 hours digging into this MOAB. Crazy stuff. After I got my work done on the plane there. So here we go. We are going to be digging into these Q posts that happened since my last recording on Sunday afternoon. And here we go. And that was this thing's about be careful who you follow and all that type of stuff, right? Be careful who you follow, et cetera, et cetera. Talking about Corsi again. I listen a little bit of Corsi here, and he's really defensive right now. I think he has a point, to be honest, but he was really taking shots at Twitter and the Twitter war at Q and at Trump. I think they bit back. And it may not have been about him, may have been about totally separate things. But anyway, he's right that, we got these a lot of these Antifas and all this social millions and millions of dollars worth of funding going into groups, and we're trying to fight them with hardly any funding, right? So, of course, he does have a good point on that, right? Hey, Mike Church, nice to see you. FG, Rhonda, Fry, Big D Jones, nice to see you guys. Yeah, so I wasn't going to do it tonight, but I tell you, I have to. It's just going to be exciting. So I believe this is Q+. I believe that he came on to basically, because he's heard that, I believe it's Trump basically trying to give the Anon support after he heard that they were really bummed about not having a big MOAB last week. If you added everything up from last week, though, it was huge with North Korea, and you listen to Dan Bongino and everything that's coming together with all the cases that are just all pointing at massive corruption of the deep state, and it's just to me was a great week as my Friday video, and it went viral. It was kind of, thank you guys, I appreciate it. I mean, I think I had 75,000 views earlier today. I was going, that's crazy for something that's only been there 3 days. There's another milestone I want to thank you guys for. My original video back in February, not my original video, but one of my videos that tried to explain the basics. It's not right versus left and really getting the basics of Cueanon, etc. Just exceeded 100,000 views. So that was kind of exciting. So I just want to say thank you guys to participate. I love your comments. I've got so many comments. I think over 1,200 comments on that last video that I did Friday, and it's really fun for me. You guys got to know that this is becoming so time consuming. I have to back off a little bit because of the I've got a heavy work schedule as well. But hey, let's dig into this. This is getting after the Q+ post. We start after we got off the air Sunday. He posted these two on Sunday, April 29th as well. Do you believe in coincidence? Artist on fire. So this was Netanyahu. I think I just remembered the pronunciation. Netanyahu, who's behind me here, and is on this MOAB. That I think if you didn't see his video, you got to go see that video. It's crazy what he revealed today. But let's back up before we get there. Here's this. And so he's referring to, you click on this right here and it'll dig into what he's talking about when he says the artists are fire. What they're talking about is they actually decoded something that was really cool. Now these are the guys that are really doing the hard work on 8chan, really digging into it, right? And so when you really look at what these guys do, it's amazing. And darn it, this got scrolled into the wrong position. Probably when I was on the plane. I might have to go back to that, but there's some really cool stuff that's come out here, so I don't want to miss it. So Darn it. It basically was talking, he decoded this here. Oh, here it is. Iron. So Eager Lion is Iron Eagle. Everybody was guessing what Iron Eagle was, and nobody came up with a good thing. It was potentially a Secret Service name of Clinton in the past, or rest of the Rothschilds. What was Iron Eagle? Well, we're finding it was this mission that's going on right now in called Eager Lion 18, which you'll see in just a second. So this anon right here, you see this number, 124-1766. That's what this was right here, right? 17, like 1774. See, 124-1774. So that's what and you click on here, and you go back and look, and you see what he was replying to, and there it is. There's that number. Oh, geez, now where'd it go now? The Iron Eagle one. Ooh, it's right here. Here it is. There it is. And it says Iron Eagle equals Iron Eagle. So this is what they call, if you go back here, it's kind of really interesting as I started digging into this. Gosh, I've got so much news here. Here it is. Even Roseanne Barr is actually tweeting about Eager Lion 18. Okay, even Roseanne Barr. It is really cool. So this is what he was pointing to. So if you look at this, and this actually said, the U.S. Marine Corps Marines brace while an entrance is breached during exercises. Eager Lion 18 in Jordan, right? So a lot of stuff's happening in Jordan now. You probably saw that Israel literally blew up something in Syria again. Looks like that's part of this nukes thing, which I'm going to pull all together for you here in a second. Here's the overall thing about an anagram. Have you ever heard of an anagram? Anagram is basically when you have a bunch of letters. It might be two words that mean something, but you re-scramble them to mean something else. You have to use all the same letters, though. That's what an anagram. So this talks about, you'll see in a second, R was a missing letter in the anagram. Iron equals Eager Lion 18. So this is the missions that's going on. There's and he gave us like 3 pictures. We'll see in a second, and that means Iron Eagle. So we finally see that. So there's quite a bit here, and it says we know that this is important because R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. So 18 can be the missing R. To be honest, when I go back and look at this, there's an R right here, so I don't know what they're really talking about there. But you basically scramble all these letters, you get Iron Eagle. And then basically, if there's any missing letter, the 18 is the R. And therefore, basically, this person, I guess this is the first person, 1608, you got it right on the nose. Good job, boys. So this is what these anons do. They research a lot of these things. And here we are seeing a decoding of an anagram, right? See an anagram right there. So that is really cool. And then we see Pompeo literally coming to Jordan. Right? Wow. So now we know this is getting really serious. And here's this definition of an anagram, a word or phrase formed by reforming the letters of another word or phrase. So the phrase is, well, obviously we're getting to Iron Eagle from the mission that we just talked about, right? And this Eager Lion 18. And we see that this kind of if we go in here and actually look and searched on Iron Eagle, you would see it coming all the way back in November. So this is crazy, just thinking that here we are all the way at the end of April, and Q was telling us about something that was going to happen in the end of April, a mission linked to the Iran crisis that's going to be going on right now that we're finding out. They are very close to having nukes. And the fact that that we are revealing that, and that we probably paid for it with the Iran deal, with the money and the cash, and we also supplied the uranium through Uranium One. So crazy stuff is being through this whole thing about, do you believe in coincidences? And then the autists are on fire, all talking about the whole them doing that awesome decoding of the anagram. And then, do you believe in coincidence here? And there's another picture here. This gets into a different thing, which is actually a picture, another picture of the coding, and I think they actually put it right here. So here's another one that says in 1302 that talks about the same thing, Eager Lion 18. And this is during the day and into the night exercise. Eager Lion 18, Jordanian Marines and U.S. Marines conduct live fire training to rehearse operating a coalition environment. Armed Forces JO, U.S. Embassy Jordan. So tons of stuff going on in Jordan, right by between Israel and Syria. So serious stuff going on. You probably saw the explosions, and Q's telling us assets are in place. And here's another picture of a third one. So this is 3 separate things. How about these for Friday Night Lights? U.S. Army Special Eric Littlefield looks to obstacles as his crew lands in Amman, Jordan during medical evacuation training as part of Eager Lion 18. Again, you take that as the anagram, it's back to Iron Eagle. Air Force photo by Master Sergeant Joshua DeMont. So all 3 of those pictures showing this operation going on right now is huge, all because of the Iran, I'm calling it the crisis, right? So let's go back to this to kind of so we can see this a little bit later. You'll see, think recent Mueller drops, think private comms. They fall forward every time. Risk, watch it happen. So this right here actually is a link to this whole thing about Mueller, and it's so funny because I was teasing the deep state a little bit. I guess I probably should be really careful about that, about how Q was taunting them, right? I clearly was taunting them. Your move, saying your move, dude. Mueller's not even returning your phone calls. And now here's a Democrat, a Clinton strategist, talking bad about Mueller now. So they're already turning on Mueller, right? So Q's telling us they fall for this every single time. So risk, watch what happens. So the whole saga is going on here. I just listened to Dan Bongino as well, and he is actually puts a marvelous picture together about how the Cueanon raid is actually linking to 2 people that are actually going to expose massive more corruptionists in the deep state and the Democrats. So it's really crazy. Stuff all coming out at the same time. That came out. That was a Wednesday broadcast I was listening to. So there was MOAB. There was booms at least last week, and so I don't see why people are getting so disappointed. The rest are not going to happen for quite a while, guys. We had to clean up a lot of this stuff, and I'll show you some anons that actually do a great job on the Great Awakening site to tell us that, right? Seen some other people on here: Big D Jones, Melody Morris, Ruby Tuesday, TJ, etc., etc. So Milstaka, Lou Zerpa, good to see you guys. Good. I'm talking about MOAB, Iran Nukes, and we might get into a little bit of Mark Taylor, but I'm probably going to flip that to a different prophet that talks about Iran. I decided to do at the last minute here, so we'll flip over to a different Hank Hanegraaff, I think his name is, where he did some very specific predictions in 2012 about Iran. So we'll pull that all together here in a second. Now, supposedly there's a missing R. This, if you go here, you'll see missing R, and basically Q says R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. So that's how that fills in that anagram. Now, if we go back here, you click on this Twitter of the embassy in Jordan. That was Mike Pompeo actually coming down the steps of the plane in Jordan, right? And then you come here to 1301. It's basically referred to that same 1300, and he basically says connect, no coincidences. And here's a mobile Twitter here, and this actually gets into, I believe this is where Lindsey Graham is talking smack, which kind of, I don't know, I'm sorry, this came back to the first picture that the Anon said, look at this, Eagle Line 18, this is Iron Eagle. So you can go back in upper left here, search on Iron Eagle and go backwards. I just don't want to take the time to do that now because it's so late and I got a lot to go over. The news is so incredible how much new news came out since yesterday afternoon. It's just crazy how much is going on right now. 1301, we're going to go to 1302. I showed you this picture already. And then assets in place, I showed you those pictures already, 1303. So we're going to 1304. Emmy Awards, red carpet event. I guess the 29th was daytime Emmy Awards. There's another big one I think comes out in usually end of August or early September, which is the primetime Emmy Awards. So imagine he was talking, this is the 30th he talks about that. So I don't know if he's talking about the exactly what he's, if you guys have to hints on what he's really talking about here, whether he's talking about something big that happened yesterday, which we covered a lot of stuff, right? Or he's talking about something upcoming. But since it was literally the day before was the Emmy Awards. I would guess he's talking about that, and that maybe this whole operation started on the red carpet night, right? Or I know that Merkel was there. I'm not sure if she was on the 29th, but a lot of exciting things going on. See what everybody are saying here. Reports of tactical nuke used in Syria. They think it was Israel attacking Iranian base in Syria. Exactly right. We're going to get into that right now. So let's get into this Syria. This is why I think it's a MOAB, guys, because they just revealed complete corruption by the Iranian government, keeping with the nuclear program. Underground sites, literally since the only said they couldn't do it in Iran, to go do it in a different country, they could, number one, cover it up. Number two, it wasn't prohibited because it's in a different country. It's like, oh my goodness, no wonder they were fighting so hard for winning in Syria, right? So, okay, 1305, no name out. Whoa. You know what, he's been predicting this, but this says now, so that'll be interesting. So this saying McCain is out. So I think we'll get some type of announcement probably tomorrow, but it'll see. But basically, John McCain is out. And it may be because of all the Syria stuff, right? The bombs that were supposed to be attacking the Syrian government of Assad was really attacking the deep state and or this Iran stuff, most likely. And then Israel took we'll get into an article that talks about that in a second. Here's the one that says Lindsey Graham, basically talking smack. And I think I have that here just in a couple of these where Lindsey Graham's actually talking some smack. I probably should have just clicked it to bring it up faster. It's really cool that this Roseanne Barr is actually talking about interesting hashtag to read, Eagerline 18. So she's decoding. You got Roseanne Barr decoding this stuff. Here's the Lindsey Graham thing. Says, James Comey, I don't trust him. I think he was part of an effort at the FBI to give Clinton a pass. The way they conducted the investigation was a joke. The thumb was on the scale. The head investigator by the FBI hated Trump, liked Clinton. Interesting. So you can play that video. I'll send you the link in the bottom of the video. But I tell you what, he then says, Q says, we love good singers. Now, we all know that Lindsey Graham is part of the deep state and a big part of this problem. It's not just right and left, right? I mean, it's not right versus left. It's corruption on the McCains and the Lindsey Grahams of the world just as much as it is the Chuck Schumers and the left side of this whole equation of swamp rats as well, right? So, but somebody's singing right now, and I don't know if Lindsey Graham's singing or he's talking about Comey singing. It would be interesting to see what he really means there. Let me know what you guys think. I think Graham sees Trump will prevail and made a 180 to save his. Yeah, it might have been just like he's saving everybody else is having to do deals or because they know they're dead. So maybe Lindsey's finally turning around. Here's a big long one, and I think there's just two more. So then we'll get some great news and hit the prophecy. This is a long one, and this is the cool one. This is the one that's the MOAB, in my opinion. Define the terms of the Iran nuclear deal. Does the agreement define and confine cease and desist to the public of Iran? And so I think the answer to this is yes. It basically says that the agreement is confined to the public of Iran. So in other words, they can have a nuclear weapon site in Syria. Right? I think that's what he's kind of alluding to here. It basically defined and confined cease and desist to the Republic of Iran. So now they've moved their nuclear program into Syria, and now they're going to be they have that as Netanyahu does a beautiful job of showing that all 5 parts of a nuclear program are very active. What if Iran created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria? Well, he tells us right there. What if the program never ceased? It didn't. Netanyahu showed that clearly. What other bad actors are possibly involved? And obviously, this is the deep state, the corruption, the cabal. Just the same reason they took over, gave North Korea the nuclear weapons to use that. So we're hostages, right? He talks about hostages all the time. Did the U.S. know? Of course we did. That's why we gave them planes full of cash. Right? And we let the uranium one thing go through, right? So this was selling out America. Where did the cash payments go? Well, probably some of them went to Syria. How many planes delivered? I don't think anybody's said anything about that, but it's crazy. Did all the planes land in the same location? where did the U-1 materials end up? So some people are saying it's freezing. I'm gonna make sure I plug this in just real quick. Sometimes that does that when this is not plugged in, and it looks like it came unplugged. So hopefully that'll help. Now it's plugged in. All right, is this material traceable? And it says yes. Now that's pretty cool. If we end up able to show that our uranium that got sold to Iran, that 20% of uranium, right, actually went into Canada and then went over to North Korea / Iran / Syria, it's going to be a great thing. Define cover. Obviously, the cover of the war, the cover of Syria, all that type of stuff would be a great cover to have this nuclear program going on in Syria. What if uranium-1 material ended up in Syria? I think it did. So it's better now. Awesome. That's good news. Oh, Angela's saying it's freezing still. UI went to Syria. Exactly right. Uranium-1. What would be the primary purpose? Of course, it's to have us hostage. To say, you do what we say, or we're going to start World War III. Right? That's the whole idea. Now, Sum of All Fears, you can go look at the plot of Sum of All Fears, and you'll see that it's about a CIA agent that has to go, a new president of Iran gets elected. Spoiler alert, by the way. I want to be careful here. It's a spoiler alert because if you guys want to see this Sum of All Fears, I'm giving a spoiler right now because there's the plot. In fact, I think I might have the plot right here. It would have been the second. I got 3 tabs that have of tons of news, right? So this is decoding that thing I just did for you there. Here's the Sum of All Fears. I'm going to do this one right here. I thought was probably the best review of it. When the president, this is the plot of the Sum of All Fears. When the president of Russia dies and is replaced by a man with a cryptic past, putting the United States on alert and rising Cold War fears, when the CIA suspects that renegade Russian scientists are attempting to develop more mobile nuclear weapons, East-West tensions overflow. CIA Director William Cobart sends in his best agent, Jack Ryan, into action. What Ryan discovers is that terrorists, it's not Russia, are planning to provoke a war between the U.S. and Russia by detonating a nuclear bomb at a football field in Baltimore. So basically, I think what Q's telling us is that they were going to basically create World War III, and while all the elites are in their bunkers, right, and to do the population downward spiral and or hold us hostage while they were getting to the point they wanted to do that, and basically act like it was going to be a false flag. Boy, we know they're good at false flags. That's right. So that is the plot of the Sum of All Fears movie that he's referring to here. In the movie, where did the material come from? It was Russia. What country? And then he answers the question kind of, what would happen if Russia or another foreign state supplied uranium to Iran and Syria? And there's also all kinds of pointing it toward the North Koreans as well, right? War. And that would hold us hostage. What does UU-1 provide? Uranium-1 provide? It basically gives them the enriched uranium for nuclear weapons. Define cover. Right? And I think that's the cover of the whole Iran deal. Basically looked like they were going to kill their nuclear program. And clearly, once you see Netanyahu's report, you'll see that clearly it kept on going through 2015. They lied to everybody. And maybe even Obama knew it because he was throwing cash all over the place to fund everything. And they let the uranium-1 go in. So basically, we sold out America's technology, our uranium-1, money to do it, giving them technology. For the highest bidder. Why did we strike Syria? Why did we really strike Syria? That's when everybody freaked out and I said RELAX, right? It was obvious they were taking down deep state targets, probably part of this whole program that No Name was helping with, most likely, right? Define cover. Patriots in control. So all this stuff's being covered up. Part of it is this whole Iran deal. So it's just amazing to see what's going on here. Let's look at this last one. Knowing what you know right now, regarding Israel disclosures moments ago, and that is this. If you go back and look at this, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gives statements on Iran nuclear deal Monday. That's today. This happened today. You go look at this 21-minute video. It's amazing, and it shows all the massive amounts of CDs and information they got. And showing that the Iran nuclear program continued, and then it was moved into a secret place underneath a mountain, I think in Tehran, and then eventually moved into Syria. So the program never stopped. They never planned on it, and they used all the cash to fund it all that we just gave them out of the goodness of our hearts. How crazy is this? So now if we look at this, Q's telling us that Israel disclosure of the Iran program, the nukes, is authentic. This is a MOAB, guys. This is crazy to think that the U.S. gave them our uranium, gave them money, and let them continue their program. Now, we either very stupid or corrupt, and I think we're corrupt is what our government was. Why is the Secretary of State there? And that's Pompeo. He's actually in Jordan area because they're about ready to do a big operation against these guys to shut them down. Why is the EU, others pressing to remain in the deal? And he told us that France and Germany, well, they'll think logically, he says. And he tells us France and Germany came to the White House for the sole purpose of pressing POTUS to remain in the deal. So they want the President of the United States to stay in the Iran deal, one of the worst deals ever. They didn't even curve their system. So, boy, did Trump play this well. I mean, he has both Macron and Merkel come, right? Both grovel trying to get him to stay in the deal, and then he drops the MOAB with Netanyahu just a couple days later, showing that that the whole deal was a complete deep state operation. 5% share. So this is alluding to the fact that obviously France and Germany were getting part of this money. So one thing that taxpayers didn't know, that not only was it the huge amount of billions we gave them, it was like $250 billion every 6 months going back to Iran and these other parts of the EU. So it was another, just like so the way you sell out America is you have climate taxes, then the Paris Accord and all these bad trade agreements, and then you have all these other things like this that just bleed the country dry and makes a financially bankrupt. As the Stalinistic tactic, one of them is debt. POTUS declassified Syrian Iran plus uranium one connection. So this is interesting. So since it's declassified, that means we as the public are going to find out a lot about this whole Syrian Iran program. Obviously, you see Netanyahu publicly gave out all the information. Where does the EU fit in? Well, I think they're just part of the deep state corruption and part of allowing all this to happen. Sick. I tell you what, the leaders of our most important allies have become part of a just sick plot. That's what this is about. Just crazy. Let's get to some news that kind of supports all this stuff. I think we went over all this stuff. These were the great things on 8chan, all the things going on in Jordan. Basically, Clinton people coming out against Mueller. We had the definition of anagram during that. Make sure I didn't miss anything. There's Pompeo coming in there. We'll go to the other tabs here in a second. This is kind of a summary of the whole thing. I reviewed that with the whole anagram of Iron Eagle out of the Eager Lion 18. And then we had Roseanne actually talking about Eager Lion. I thought that was just so cool. And Lindsey Graham basically squealing now. And then this is another just piece of news I thought was cool. This woman she was the first woman ever to medal in 6 straight Olympics. And the media and sponsors ignore her because she's an outspoken pro-2A. So Second Amendment, right? So that's kind of sad. 6 Olympics. I didn't even know about that. Obviously, it's sad. Scumbags, complete scumbags. That got hidden, Stephen. So I'll show it right now and release that. Thomas Williams, nice to see you. Was it Nalita? Good to see you too. SS is back. All right, good to see you guys. It says, Lord, put blessed teach under your wing, keep this site safe. Amen. Yeah, I hope so. We'll see how long this lasts. It kind of went a little crazy here since Friday, so we'll see if I start getting more attention and I need to be more careful. But there's a lot of other sites that have 3 times, 5 times, 10 times my subscribers. So hey, do subscribe. It'd be love to have you. Make sure you hit the bell multiple times and make sure it says that notifications are on so you can see me live. I'd love to have more people on live. It's fun. Let me go to these other tabs of news that I found that were on the plane when I was flying here. There's pretty awesome stuff. It's still happening. I think I want to go over this tab first here. Lots of news. And again, my sites are as I vote.co, but probably most of it, it's just great. It's growing like mad. It's Reddit, Great Awakening. It has almost 21,000 followers now, so it's really growing. I think this is wrong in a couple places, but I just wanted to show you another Anon kind of doing some on Reddit, doing some decoding. I read it a little bit different on a couple of them, but I just thought it's always good to give other opinions because you never know. I'm not right on everything, obviously, and I'm just learning. It says, define the terms of the Iran nuclear deal. It says, Iran gets to keep doing what they want without oversight, plus they are getting U.S. tax monies to do it. I think that's correct. Does the agreement define and confine cease and desist to the Republic of Iran? It says no proliferation continued. And I think this is yes. It said you could not keep doing the program in Iran, but they just moved it to Syria, right? So because it was confined to cease it in the Republic of Iran. Now they moved it to Syria. What if Iran created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria? The one that Israel recently shit-hammered. Oops, sorry about that. S-hammered. Got it. Right? So obviously, you probably saw the explosions and a lot of news on major explosions over there as they basically blew up this site. What if the program never ceased? We know it didn't. What other bad actors are possibly involved? I think that's clearly talking about the deep state. And he's talking about Pakistan and stuff here. I think that's wrong. Did the U.S. know? Yes. Where did the cash payments go? The program Iran was running. How many planes delivered? Not sure. Did the planes land in some other location dispersed? I agree with that. The operation requires multiple facilities. Where did the uranium-1 material end up? Iran's base in North Syria, at least part of it, right? I think it went to multiple places. I think it went in multiple places. Holding stages, hostages, that would be the primary purpose of it. Patriots in control. We retaliated against a chemical attack. Secretly, we devastated the nuclear capable sites. And so there's some really good discussion here. I'll link it so you guys can go read some of this type of stuff. I think there's kind of some interesting things here that will give you the sum of what all this is. I showed you the sum of all fears definition. Netanyahu says Iran brazenly lying after signing a nuclear deal, moved documents to the secret location. All right, so again, you gotta watch that video. That's a number. If there's a thing I talk about, if you really want to know what's going on, if there's one thing you have to watch, it's the latest Netanyahu revealing in this 21-minute video about really what happened with that Iran plan. And it's very well done, I believe. This is interesting. This is a lot of discussion about knowing what we know now, right? This last post we read, and this big here, I thought this was really cool, a good summary of some of the thinking that I have, and real interesting. It's all about timing, and Netanyahu delay this little show until until that's a little bit of it, show and tell until after those EU scumbags visit the U.S. Trump led Macron around like a little dog and a puppet he is. Gave him a nice dinner. Then had a meeting with Macron to show him we have all the evidence of Iran's secret nuclear project in Syria. Macron had no choice, no chance of convincing Trump of staying in the Iran deal. So having failed his mission miserably, he was sent packing. Next up was Merkel. She wasn't even allowed a fancy dinner with Trump and Melania. Nope. Just a quick press conference where Merkel had to bend the knees and kiss Trump's A. She knew she had no shot of convincing Trump to stay in the Iran deal. Macron might have tipped her off prior to the press conference. Then came the big Korean news, bringing peace to a 68-year war and getting South Korea's foreign minister and president to acknowledge that it's all because of Trump, ending another great week, and pushed back the MOAB announcement from Netanyahu. Come today, the MOAB. Iran and Obama get exposed for being the lying scum they are. The stage is set now for either a real peace deal with Iran where America Trump wins, or they get regime change. Either way, why Iran will not be a problem come November, which is the timetable Q has set. Wow. Huh? So I thought this was a great review of what just happened with this whole Iran thing. There's some other comments here that I thought that was kind of cool. Here's one that says, here's what they had to do before proceeding with criminal cases. Right? We talked about they had the, number one, they have the corrupt federal FBI. How can you do arrests when you have a corrupt Justice Department and a corrupt FBI? At least the senior executives there, right? But here's some other things they had to do before proceeding with criminal cases. They had to cut off the Saudi oil money, cut off the slush fund money, cut off MS-13 assassination squads, get Russia on board, get China on board, take out ISIS, take out the deep state operators of North Korea. That just happened. How huge is that? Take the deep state operators in Syria. Take out deep state operative in Iran. That's the next. They said that Iran's next. If they didn't do these things first, then the deep state could launch terrorist attacks or nukes once the noose got tighter. Had to be done. Part of the plan. Sessions, Huber, Horowitz, Mueller, maybe. Building cases, setting traps, and waiting until they can come out from behind the smoke and mirrors and go to work. Whoa. So I thought it's a couple of really good summaries of this whole thing and why people need to be patient as we're taking down and setting the stage and getting rid of so they don't just start a nuclear war. That's what the deep state tried to do with the nuclear weapons in North Korea, and that's what they're trying to do with the nuclear weapons in Syria. Now, no more doubt. Q called Iran and it happened. Q is real. This is effing real. I doubt at times. I'm now all in. So this is a guy from Butterscotch88 from the Great Awakening site on Reddit, right? So subscribe to that subreddit of Great Awakening. You'll find great things there. And just another great comments I thought there. I had good news report. This is just getting away from the Iran thing now. We kind of wrapped all that up. Again, that's the MOAB though. Iran nukes, I think. Cueanon, right? At least it's just huge to show that now we have massive evidence to show the corruptness of our past government colluding with the corruption in Iran to actually create a deep state nuclear weapon site. And if that didn't work, they were going to use North Korea. So here's a guy talking about something that I just think is really cool. Just talking about how I talk about we cannot lose faith in the Democrats that love this country. There's a lot of patriots that are left and right, a lot of patriots that are every color, creed, religious belief, etc. Let's not give up on them. Here's an example. I have good news report. I have noticed more and more people jumping on the Trump train. I was a Democrat left person before the election. I voted for Trump and I'm proud of it. I got lots of media from left, and I have been red pilling as much as possible, but I have noticed more and more positive responses and others waking up. Keep the faith. So that's our job. Send that, let's see, there's between pedophiles and traitors. I got to undo that. They're censoring you, Stephen, for saying just basic things. Crazy. So I had to unhide that as well. Go to Mama, nice to see you again. Lou Zepra, good to see you. Angela Buxton, got a bunch of other new people. Sue's back on. Good to see you. Maybe John Cueanon is confessing his sins before the end. Yeah, well, he better be, that's for sure. So a couple more pieces of news, and we'll jump into a prophecy here too. I just wanted you all to know that you mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. This is kind of an inspirational thing for the nameless anons. You know, I'm a public face now, obviously, but look at all these guys that are just doing all this work, and some of them 10 hours a day, almost like a bit more than a job, doing all this deciphering and decoding for us and research so that we can report it and consume it and wake up other people. Let's give them kudos. And here I just wanted to read this real quick. When this is all said and done, no one will know what you have done to win this fight. No one will know your name. No one will even know that you posted in some arbitrary sub, and that's his subreddit, right? Spending hours, days, and even weeks researching and posting your findings to share and advance the fight. No one will know that you dedicated your very heart and soul to this fight. No one will remember that you spent every waking moment supporting, sometimes wavering, but always remaining true to our fight for freedom. You will not go down in the history books. You will not receive a medal. There will be no parade for you. But when we win this war, you will feel the sun shining a little brighter, the breeze blowing a little cooler, the air a little fresher, your water cleaner, your neighbors smiling more, your family earning more, your children sleeping safe at night. You will know that people around the world have been freed from the enslavement that has entangled them for generations. Evil will bow down to good, and the light will shine brighter than it ever has in our lifetime and of those before us. We fight for each other. We fight for the lost women, children, and men of this world. We fight. In time, no one will ever know your name or even your true identity. But where we go one, we go all. Fight, fight, fight. Wow, I just thought that was so inspirational for these guys that are working, the guys and gals that are just working so hard, the oddest of the world, that are just working so hard for us. I want to thank you. If you're listening to this right now, I want to thank you for all your hard work, and God bless you. I'll pray for you at the end as well. And here's kind of a cool thing, just talking about MAGA, make the earth great again. It talks about on 4/27, North and South Korea agreed toward a complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and the end of the Korean War. And then here's something else that's talking about Saudi Arabia bans Muslim Brotherhood from schools. So just a couple of big events that have happened just as a reminder to us all. Here's Sarah A. Carter, one of my favorite authors, just today, 2 hours ago, talked about VP Pence physician behind Ronnie Jackson attacks. So that's interesting. So it's actually a female physician that just basically said that she was very jealous of Ronnie Jackson promotions and just gave all that smack dirt to that senator. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. The highlights are right here. According to our administration officials, allegations against Jackson were brought by VP Pence Army physician Dr. Pena. Dr. Pena, officials contend, has held a longtime grudge against Jackson because of the continuing promotions in the White House. Senator Tester, who Trump, as you know, just nailed, who made the allegations against Jackson public on CNN, would not disclose his source. The Secret Service does not corroborate Senator Tester's statements. So sad thing that happened there. You probably saw that in the news. But just a new update just 2 hours ago from Sarah A. Carter. And then here we are on Kanye West. He is red pilling like mad. Look at this. This is a sentence that says Abe Lincoln freed and protected the slaves, and he was Republican. Republicans were the ones who helped black people. Democrats protected the rights of the slave owners in the South. And then basically, I think this is Kanye saying, I'm going to tweet this, and he did. So he actually tweeted it. So he is on fire. Interesting things. Here's a couple tweets from Trump I thought was interesting. The White House is running very smoothly despite phony witch hunts, etc. There is great energy, unending stamina, both necessary to get things done. We are accomplishing the unthinkable and setting positive records while doing so. Fake news is going bonkers. And he hits it one more time. The fake news is going crazy, making up false stories and using only unnamed sources who don't exist. They are totally unhinged, and the great success of this administration is making them do and say things they even can't believe they're saying. Truly bad people. Wow, he is blunt and to the point, isn't he? Okay, I got 3 or 4 more things right here in this other browser. I already showed you the video of Netanyahu. Here's just one that says, here's what happened. It says, massive fireballs light up Syrian sky after Israeli strike. Dozens of Iranian soldiers reportedly killed. So it could have been up to, this is not something really to be celebrated, because maybe 40 to 60 people, 40 killed, 60 wounded. So this was a serious mass explosion in this supposed nuclear facility, right? Here is American Thinker deal. Talk about the caravan that arrives in Honduras, and it basically says that they were waving their flag and basically flipping the middle finger off to America. so and it basically says, if you looked at the Reddit post, is that immigrants used to come and kiss the ground when they came to America. They are appreciative, and they were part of the melting pot and coming in and helping us, right? And it's just so sad to see it. Obviously, the deep state put this caravan up to it to try to make Trump look bad, and then when they get here, they wave their flag and they flip off the United States. So sad stuff. Sad stuff is what it is. Last thing I'll show you is that South Korea's president calls for Trump to get the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in North Korea. Whoa, yeah, and it says President Trump should win a Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to end the standoff with North Korea over nuclear weapons, according to South Korean's president. Moon Jae-in said Monday President Trump should win the Nobel Peace Prize. What we need is only peace. Trump threatened war with North Korea several times and pushed harsh sanctions on the country after its nuclear and missile tests. Moon thinks that hardline move could have tipped the balance toward the deal. So obviously, the mainstream media is not going to say anything, but sure is South Korea, right? So really cool stuff here, guys, going on right now. I'll talk to you guys here in a second, but let's get into one prophecy. I just want to read parts of this. This is a guy named Hank Cueanon. Hank Cueanon. Let me know if you guys have read anything of his, but it's a very long prophecy, so I'm not going to read it all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to search on Iran and read you the Iran parts, because I thought they were just crazy, because this was recorded back in 2012, right? So let's see what he says about Iran. So if I go here and I go Control F and I hit Iran, should highlight him for me. And it's not doing it for some reason right now. Just 1 second. Let me get off it and come back onto it. See if that helps. And no, I have to come here and go Control F. There you go. So this is the Apple Notes program. So basically, you have to search on Iran, just similar to what you do on the Cueanon board. Then you have to hit Control F again and hit Iran. Then it highlights it for you. So here it is. So you can see about halfway through this prophecy, he's prophecy spoken. Oh, this was on April 9th, 2014. One hand will be upon Russia and the other hand upon Iran. God says they have joined their hands. Now the Spirit of God says, I will put one hand upon Russia and put one hand upon Iran, and I will bring together an exposure of what they are doing and conniving, planning in secret. Woohoo! What did this talk about? Talk about the Iran Uranium-1 going to Syria, where Iran was continuing their nuclear program with the help of Russia. Right? That's what that says right there. That's crazy. And that was 2014. Here's another one. Iran, there will be a foiled plot and plan that is the result of the Lord's intervention, bringing the attention of the nations. This will be a supernatural working of the Lord's hand, that to those who are spiritually discerning, they will understand, while others will seek to dismiss. Iran continues seeking great threats and seeking to carry out their agenda to produce nuclear weapons until their plans are foiled by Israel and eventually the United States. Woo! Is that not just freaky and crazy? That I think that God is revealing some of his plans to us right now, man. I think that is cool. Wow. So that's kind of the Iran. I think that was the end of that, and we'll just say a quick prayer and do a little bit of talking, and then we'll end up here. Yeah, those are the four things I wanted to read to you real quick. I'll bring you over here for a second. Got Be Truthful's on now. I didn't see him earlier. Lou's back. Great to see you guys again. So, free Julian Assange now. I hear you. Has evidence to convict Hillary for treason and murder. Yeah, Troy, I hear you. We'll see that, and I see you, Troy, as well. But let's say a quick prayer, and then we'll talk for just a bit. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for revealing the evil and just prophesying it in 2012, 2014, telling us that literally exactly what happened is going to happen. And Lord, just thank you for exposing the evil. And we just pray that you give massive favor upon the white hats really trying to take care of all this treasonous behavior, Lord. We pray you held accountable everybody that has been doing so much evil within our government and within the world governments, Lord. Gosh, I just was reading a little bit of a book about the Unified book with Trey Gowdy and Tim Scott, and it was so amazing to see that we, like music, can come together, different instruments making a beautiful harmonic music, and I just pray that we come together as a great melting pot. Even though we're all different, we can actually make beautiful harmonic music, Lord, and that we'll think about that worldwide, that people will stop thinking about the differences of each other and look at those differences as cool things where we can be in harmony versus everybody playing their own songs, doing things that were discord everywhere. We play for harmony and coming together and unification of this country, and that this army of God will raise up and start taking ground and have huge blessings on the world, Lord. We just look so forward to this. Thank you for revealing the evil of the Iran nuclear program, and we just pray that there be peace in this world and that we can take down the criminality everywhere worldwide. And I say this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen. Wow. So now here we are on just doing a little bit of talking here. Rip Seth Rich, I hear you. Yeah, he's probably going to go down as an American hero when it all comes down. And Kim.com, where we talked about the fact that he probably has, I think he came direct evidence that it was a thumb drive that copied from the DNC servers. It wasn't hacked, so we know that. Thanks for the amens there. Thanks for the update as always. Pray for us all. You got it. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. And I do have that video that just went over 100,000 views. I put that at the top of all my videos. So send that to people. I think that's the one that I've been told is best for new people. I think some of these latest videos are not going to be real good for somebody that's just you're trying to wake up. But I really appreciate you guys' support here. It's been awesome. No death certificate, no autopsy. Trump has it all. That's right, Millstack. Good to see you. But we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. It's really late in my time. I got an early morning to get to work, and it's going to be a crazy week, but I just wanted to thank you guys a ton. Go to my Twitter, and please continue to send me at Blessed to Teach, right? So you just tweet anything, release the text, unredacted, or just send me a meme, or just send me any thoughts that you have, and then put at Blessed to Teach, one word, Blessed to Teach, into Twitter. We'd really appreciate to get some discussion there going as well. That way you guys have a way to get a hold of me in case they take down. Somebody was telling me, I think SS was saying that she couldn't get to some videos, so who knows when they're going to start meddling with it. It was funny. It's the 30th, right? I'll show you guys one more thing real quick. Look at this. If you go to my site, and you see, I'm going to take you guys over out of the way. Sorry, guys, for a second. And I'm going to put you in, I'm going to show you my live dashboard here. Hopefully this will be fast enough to show. But if you go to my channel here, so this is, I think it's been 8 weeks now. So the good news, I don't have any strikes. So, but the way they're just making sure that, that they demonetize anybody who's a conservative or libertarian. I was doing this, to be honest, my initial thought was, hey, I'll go do some videos and get striked out and then join the lawsuit of anti-school, right? Isaac Green. That was kind of my plan early on. And so, I want to turn on monetization, so they demonetize me, but they've just done it in a different way. Even they said that usually they'll email a decision within a week. So that's pretty clear, right? And I did this when I had just over 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So I'm almost 10 times there and way over 10 times there, right? And again, we'll make a decision early in a week. and then they also said something about they have a lot, and they'll try to get done by the end of April. Well, it's the end of April. It's the end of April. I knew they wouldn't turn it on. So this is another way they, obviously, if I had a liberal, they would have approved this by now, I believe, right? So this is another example of the games they're playing to hurt anybody they can. But let's wrap it up here. Get MOAB, guys. Our Iran nuclear program is revealed. Secret base in Syria. And there's now a huge mission. The Iron Eagle mission is going on in Jordan. And we're going to be taking out the threat of the deep state and the cabal having control of nuclear weapons so that they can hold us hostage. Not going to happen under this president. God bless you guys, and talk to you later.